The idea was I'd come and do shows. I just decided I want to give all the money to Nelson Mandela. I'd happy to give it to him actually, but you know he has 3 charities, so I thought I'd give it to one of his charities. So it became the 46664. It was just it seemed the simplest way of doing the simplest way, just a great way of arriving in South Africa. That doesn't interest me at all, actually. And the idea of saying, "Hey, what are you doing here? You're stupid," you know. I think, and it also doesn't film well. That stuff doesn't film well because you film it and it looks like. I think people, if they watch a video of that, they'd say, "Oh, that person was put there," because we're very sophisticated now, and certain things just look like they've been set up. Oh, someone had a weird haircut. Well, that's what you did. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it probably wasn't. The person was just digging around for stuff in the audience. But I much prefer stuff that's just playing around in my head, and I'm not talking to the audience at all because it doesn't translate well, and this translates a lot better. And you can just think of anything: the Romans, politics, God, sex, trees, elephants. You know, it's all there. So why bother talking about people with haircuts or all that kind of stuff? Some other people love it and they do that. It's just not my cup of tea. The Lego animation, that's all been done by some kid. I'm still not sure who it is. I think it's great. I mean, it's the internet taking hold. It's people power and viral stuff and good viral stuff. And so I think it's great. I mean, because it always used to be before some people with a lot of money and big companies, and they could say who gets well known, who doesn't get well known. And now there's the internet that says, oh, if something's decent, it'll just travel out. If it means that I'm known here, it means that I could go other places, like Eastern Europe, where I feel I could play in English probably. If I was playing the universities there, the kids will probably have good enough English, maybe even in the main capital cities or the main towns.
Go down. I will have the penne alla arrabbiata. You'll need a tray. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? This is not a game of who you.
It's a bit like you're a film, because going to America is a bit like going to a film, because you've seen it, a lot of films in New York or LA, and those, it feels like that. But South Africa also feels like that because of all the hell you went through 20 years ago to this day. It stopped, didn't it? Exactly to the day. And 9 days later, Nelson Mandela came out. As what happens when a great change happens, then it kind of goes off the radar a bit. You think, oh, good, Nelson Mandela is now president, so things have changed, and you kind of go off the radar a bit if you're not, if I didn't have South African links. So then you won the Rugby World Cup and the Invictus film, which I saw just recently, and that's great. And he is and was a canny politician. He knew he had to not get rid of the Springbok and keep that. Because that's what the white population obviously thought was going to happen. It was going to disappear and have a different name. So it's great to be here, and it feels cool to be here. And I'm not too worried about if there is a crime element going on, because there is in New York, there is in LA. I was doing a gig in LA, and someone got shot. Some kid got shot down the street. 2 rival schools had been booked in the same thing for a party, and it goes on everywhere. So I'm not too worried about that. I just hope you keep moving forward and it keeps getting better and you can be a shining example to the rest of Africa.